Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Java with Jen and Jess. I am Jennifer Fernandez, and I am a realtor and the branch manager for the Property Pros Real Estate.
And I am Jessica Sherrill, Senior Loan Officer, and I am with Freedom Mortgage, the home team of Freedom Mortgage, rather. And we keep it real in real estate. I don't even know what I'm saying this morning. Happy Friday, you guys. I need my coffee. All right. So today we have a really amazing show. But first, in lieu of our small businesses that we usually feature, because community is so important to Jen and I, there is a cause that's really important to both Jen and I, and it's basically Save Our Children. And, we want to make sure that everyone is aware of this cause and how you can help. So, I'm not sure if you're aware, but an estimated 27 million adults and 13 million children worldwide are victims of human trafficking.
There are more human slaves in the world today than ever before in history.
And every 30 seconds, another person becomes a victim of human trafficking.
Human trafficking earns a global profits of roughly $150 billion a year for traffickers.
And advocates report a growing trend of traffickers using online social media.
70% of child sex trafficking survivors surveyed were at some point sold online.
And as you guys know out there, there's a lot more children at home because of the coronavirus. They're, not all back to school full time. So they're indoors more so now than ever before. So if you see something, say something, and pay attention to the kids in your neighborhood and in the schools.
Yeah, if we only have two choices, do nothing or do something. This needs to be the generation that says enough. If you suspect somebody is involved in human trafficking, contact your local authorities or the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 888-373-7888.
Thank you.
So without further ado, today with us is Carly, who is the owner of Millennials Marketing. As the largest living generation, Millennials demographic, every brand wants to charm. But the first trick in garnering their loyalty involves getting their attention and keeping it. The millennial generation possesses a very strong BS detector. Authenticity is worth its weight in gold. The content, the message, the videos, they have to be real. If it looks like an ad, it will be skipped over faster than a Tinder profile with no photo. With us today is Miss Carly, who is co-founder of Millennial Social Media Marketing. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk everything about millennials and social media.
Well, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
So basically, Carly, the first question that we have for you today, for our listeners, is why did you get into this? And tell us about your background and how you kind of landed into this millennial marketing.
Yeah. So I got into marketing shortly after college. And I actually went from being a digital creator on my own, like a blogger, kind of like a solo content creator. I actually went to school for broadcasting. So it was completely a little bit different, but I was at least in the digital realm. And I fell in love with social media and digital marketing when I actually got picked up by Outback Steakhouse. They hired me on as a intern for their social media department. And then I slowly kind of moved my way up into the company and then became assistant brand manager actually for Bonefish Grill and did all of the digital advertising for them there. And I just fell in love with trends and just always keeping on top of like what's new and what is coming and basically like what are the new innovations when it comes to digital marketing. But my passion really lied in social media because kind of like that's what's trending right now. And that is kind of the future of digital marketing. I came in an environment that was very corporate. And so when I say corporate, I mean, it's very traditional. It's very old school. And I constantly had to fight for my voice to get heard. And I would, try to present ideas that are like, we have to be putting more of a budget into social media. more than ever before, because the millennial target is now becoming our consumer. You know, before it was my parents, that is the main consumer, but now it's becoming the millennials. They're having kids, they're getting married, and they're slowly moving into that next phase of life. Time is flying by. And I was getting really frustrated because a lot of my ideas were getting pushed away or said, it's too risky. We don't want to try that. It's too, social media to them was more still in the corporate mindset. Social media is still new to them. For me, I'm like, social media was 15 years ago. We need to be the next step ahead. So about 3-4 months ago, actually it's been longer than that, 6 months ago, I left Bloomin' Brands. That's where I was. And I kind of was in this like middle of where I didn't know what was next for me. And I didn't know if I wanted to go agency route or back to corporate route or start my own thing. And Kirsten and I, that's when we met. And my co-founder is Kirsten Slyer. She's not with me today because she's actually moving into her new home. But we kind of crossed paths because we both had the same passion. And we also both were in this like period of our lives. We were like, okay, either we're going to go work for another company and just do what they want us to do, or we're going to do what we want to do for other companies that are like-minded and see the value in social media. So her father actually was generous enough to basically invest in us and help us kick off Millennial social media marketing, which was awesome because I was broke at the time. And so basically we grew social media. Our mission is essentially, well, one, obviously, we believe in the power of social media and the power of millennials. And from both the design side, we definitely believe in the ideas that millennials have, because millennials are digital natives. Instagram, Facebook, that all started when we were in middle school and high school. And it was it's the new way of communication for us. We would rather be communicating and interacting on social media versus in person. Not really, doesn't sound that great to say that, but that's just kind of how it is. So we believe in the power of them when it comes to thinking of like the best ideas when it comes to digital marketing. And then the other side is we believe in the power of social media and millennials, because that is our future consumer. So when it comes to businesses, we do a lot of small businesses, and we actually recently have expanded to corporate businesses who are hiring us now to do their social media marketing. And we basically do organic social media marketing, which a lot of people, we can get into that with the questions, kind of what does that mean? But we do content creation. We grow your account organically by organic engagement. So you can go, say a small business comes in with 0 followers, we try to grow that to 1,000 to 2,000 and more from an organic approach. And we also really try to create the most trendy content. What I mean by that is we try to create content that is like already, we're trying to start the trends before the trends. So we're trying to capture like what is trending online before it blows up, because we want the businesses that we have to be a step ahead of their competitors. And that's ultimately our goal. And then obviously is to create lasting relationships through social media. So it's more than just, like you said, before I came on here, it's more just an ad. Millennials are all about storytelling and relationships. So if you're not creating content that is, relatable, has a story aspect to it, something that they feel an emotion from seeing, you're putting posts out there for absolutely no reason. We want to create those posts to turn into eventual relationships and clients. So that's what Millennial is all about. And then a small side of what we do is actually influencer marketing as well. It's basically a way where we hire bloggers or influencers, even like local celebrities in the area. We have a couple partnerships that we have that supply us these individuals to help endorse our brands. So essentially they'll just post a post on their profile and give a shout out to one of our clients to get them just more exposure to their brand and also more followers. So that's another part of what we do that's actually different than almost every single social media marketing agency in the Tampa area. So that's a little bit about us. We're located in Hyde House, Tampa, and yeah.
Wow. And man, I'm just ready to like buy into this. With that introduction, I'm like, oh my gosh, where's Carly? All right. So my next question, and this is a number one question I think a lot of people don't get, right, is why should someone invest in social media? Because we have it for free, right? Yeah. We can go on to Facebook anytime we want. It doesn't cost us anything. We can go on Instagram. We can, whatever. So tell the audience, like, why should they invest?
Oh, that's my favorite question. I have to say, every time we sit down with a client and they look at, a price and we haven't dived into what we offer, they're like, well, why am I going to pay X and X amount when I can just, have my front desk assistant post up a post? Well, there's so much more that goes into social media than just putting up a post. And that is the stigma that my mom has. My mom thinks she can just take a photo when she feels inspired about something and put it up there. But little do we know, there's a lot of strategy that goes behind a Instagram post or a Facebook post or even a tweet. Essentially, if you're just putting up posts just to put up because you feel inspired, what is the purpose of it? Is that going to drive a sale? Is that going to drive a client to have a new client? So you have to think of it in a perspective of how can I create these posts to make myself more money in the long run? And so that's where we come in. And so it comes first from strategy. And, what we do is we dive into your insights. Not only that, is we talk a lot with the business owner, kind of what is your main consumer right now? And what's your demographic? Where are you, who you're trying to target? And we essentially create content that is completely tailored around what your business goals are. For example, I'll put it into perspective. There's a coffee shop and maybe they are the old diner cafe style, but they really want to become more trendier. They want to target more millennials because they realize millennials are all over coffee right now, but they don't have millennial customers yet. So we would come in, we would basically have an overview of what their current social media state is, and we would dive into our insights, and then we would take a little bit of our industry experience, and that's what you're mainly paying for. Is you're paying for also our experience. And we actually have a millennial team. So they're all young individuals who have amazing ideas when it comes to social media. So help then basically flip your social media. So we like to call ourselves the social media flippers. So every post goes out with a purpose. So whether it is to drive a sale, to drive a book an appointment, and also storytelling to create relationships. So they're not just cute, fun, I took a photo of my coffee against a wall. There's a lot more that goes into that and a lot of strategy that goes into this. And not only that, is we also want to set you apart from your competitors. So we do a lot of competitive research in your area. So depending on who you consider your competitors, whether it's the city that you're in, the state you're in, maybe it's nationwide, we dive into a lot of those insights and we try to set you apart from those competitors to make sure that when people are Googling you or when people are searching you on social media, that you stand out above them and they're going to choose you, because essentially it's basically what they're seeing. Like when they go onto your website, if you have a crappy website versus a good website, they're going to probably choose the service that has a nice new updated website. It's the same thing for social media. And we also produce the content. So it's more than just, taking out your Instagram, your phone and snapping a picture and posting on Instagram. We actually do professional photo, professional video, and we have amazing graphic designers. We have and we do animations, we do short videos, like small commercials. We do a little bit of everything. And then not only that, is these social media platforms are coming out with new features every single day, it feels like. So Reels just came out and a lot of people are like, what's a Reel? They're like, well, if you don't know what a Reel is, you need to know what a Reel is right now because you're already out. So basically we keep on top of those too. And we make sure that your social media accounts are constantly producing the most up-to-date platforms, and also the features that the platforms have. So your account will always have the first of the first before, your competitors. So that's kind of what you're paying for. And then the other big thing that you're paying for is influencer marketing if your business wants that. And the reason why we think influencer marketing is so important is because it is it's growing. This year alone, influencer marketing made $1 billion. Next year, it's apparently supposed to double the amount. And what I mean by that is that brands are investing in influencers. So the $1 billion, that's how much money brands spent this year on influencer partnerships. So it's word of mouth, but through social media. So essentially, we are finding the right influencer that fits your brand, fits your demographic, and can target the people that you want to become clients. So a lot of research goes into that as well. And then we find, say, 3 influencers that perfectly fit that and fit your brand. And we help them create the content that they're going to post out there to their followers, and we monitor it. We monitor the success of it too, whether it brought more sales, brought more appointments, things like that. And we manage those relationships because we want to make sure that we can continue to use those same influencers. So that's a little bit about why we think social media is so important and why you should invest in it, because it is a lot more than just putting a post out there on social media. And the last point I want to make is actually a lot of people kind of undermine the power of social media. A lot of businesses have said to me, to my face, that social media is not that important. Like, there's no way that I could drive more sales just by putting a post up there. But that's actually extremely false, because there are 1.6 billion people online, and the millennials are actually on social media up to 3 to 6 hours a day. So if they're on there scrolling 3 to 6 hours a day and you're not on there communicating to them, you're missing that opportunity. And social media is right next to word of mouth now. 3 years ago, it wasn't. Word of mouth was still the best form of marketing. Social media is right underneath it. So if you're not capitalizing on those messages that you could be doing for your business, you're missing out on that opportunity. And we definitely express the importance of that. And that's what we're here to do.
That's awesome. I totally agree. Jen?
So it's basically post with a purpose. So what you mentioned a lot, everybody checking out everybody's social media. We know that, you're going for a job interview or, dating, and you want to check somebody out, you go to their Facebook page and look them up. But I've also heard from millennials that Instagram is kind of like the new Google. So how does that work? I'm used to going on Google and, what is Java with Jen and Jess, but how would somebody do that on Instagram, and what's the difference?
Yeah, so Instagram came out with a new feature, and Facebook as well, because they're connected, that your bio are actually keywords. So if your Instagram bio doesn't say Tampa hair extensions, they're not going to be able to find you the same way Google works. So if you go on Instagram and click the search bar, type in Tampa hair salon, and all these businesses will pop up in the Tampa area. And just like Google, you can click on them, check out their page, check out who their stylists are, see their work, be able to make that decision the same way you would Google. And this is fairly new. This hasn't always been a thing. Before, you would actually have to search by hashtags. That's how it used to be. You would search Tampa dinner, or discover Tampa to try to find something in the Tampa area. Instagram and Facebook have now added keyword search into social media platforms, which is crazy, because I don't know how that works on the back end, but you could type in anything from theme parks in Tampa, or nail salon in Wesley Chapel, and all these Instagram pages come up, and it's amazing. And if you're not using those keywords in your bio, you are not showing up for the people who are looking for that service in their area. Millennials essentially have to be able to see the space before they go somewhere. And what I mean by that is me as a millennial, I will not go somewhere that doesn't look nice inside, or has like an aesthetic, decor in their office. So if it's not Jen, you have a beautiful aesthetic in your office. So where it's light and it's bright and it just, you're welcome. So millennials are making their decisions almost fully based off whether it's Instagrammable or not, and if it matches that aesthetic that they like. So that's how millennials are making their decisions when it comes to using social media as basically as a Google search.
So when a business is trying to be, putting their business on social media, when a business is like, you know what, I need to be noticed on social media, why should they put it on Instagram? Tell us how that benefits a business on IG.
Yeah, so Instagram is what I call your digital portfolio. So whether you're a realtor, whether you're a doctor, you do Botox and fillers, maybe you are a social media marketing person like me, it's basically the place that people can see your work and be able to determine whether this person is good enough for me to invest my money in or not. And so that's the difference between Instagram and Facebook. Facebook is more so a place I go on Facebook just to find the address, maybe look at reviews, maybe find the phone number to call them, versus it being a platform where I can scroll for hours and look at what this person has to offer for me. And our generation is becoming more visual more than ever before. So if make a nice example for you guys. We have 2 aesthetics practices that we have as clients. And the biggest misconception when it comes to getting fillers or Botox is that it hurts really bad, or your lips will blow up and they'll look so big and scary. And people are scared to make that next step to come to the office to get fillers or Botox done. So social media is huge for them, especially Instagram, because that's where we showcase to people what it's like when you get fillers, when you get Botox. Instagram has an IGTV feature that can essentially take someone from step 1 all the way to the end of what it's like to get fillers. And it's all visual. Facebook has a lot more going on. Instagram is strictly just being able to showcase people the before and afters of the fillers and the IGTVs and the reels. And people can basically get in the entire experience as if they were actually there. And that's why Instagram is so, so important. Not only that, people are on Instagram now more than any other platform for millennials. And once again, millennials are your next target consumer. Like, that's who you want to start targeting, because 5-10 years from now, they are going to be your 30, your 40, your 50-year-olds. So we have to capitalize on them now. And they are on Instagram more than any platform. TikTok is on the rise, but because Instagram just came out with Reels, it's essentially just like TikTok. So Instagram, once again, is holding the #1 seat. So
I have a question, and Jen, I didn't mean to intercede in your next question, but I actually have this, I don't know, go back and forth on this. Should someone mix personal with business and have them together? Because this is the thing. I'm really big on relationships and connecting, right? I want people to know what kind of person I am, but I also want them to know what I do for a living as well. So if you go on my Instagram, you'll know right away I'm a Christian. I have a puppy that's so cute. I have, I love my clients. I work hard because I'm always posting about working late and all this. What is your thought on that?
That's a great question. We actually have a couple clients that do mix personal with business. There just has to be a fine line with how much you share in your personal page. And what I mean by that is your personal that you do share, it still needs to be filtered in some sort, because if you're trying to get someone as a client, everybody has their own opinions, their own biases. You do still want to make sure that you won't lose a potential client, because maybe you posted a photo out drinking with your girlfriends and maybe they think that, like, oh no, like, it's COVID, like, they can't be going out and drinking right now. I don't believe in that. I don't want to work with this person. So there definitely still needs
to delete.
So there's supposed to be that fine line of, like, how much do you share and then how much do you not share? And I definitely, if there's a part of you that wants to share everything, the bad and the ugly, I suggest having another personal profile just to share just your family and friends. But I think with people like you who are amazing personalities, super outgoing, and you are the face of your business and what you do, they want to see that on your business page. They want to see, what does Jess do on her free time? What's her morning routine like? And what's her favorite coffee order? People are nosy. They love to know those things. And you're creating a strong bond with your followers. So I just think you can definitely do personal business, mix personal with business. There just has to be a little bit of transparency there, and making sure that you are staying true to your brand. And also, which to be fully personal, you're to be able to do that filtered is hard. So that's why I suggest making another account just for family and friends. That's just my suggestion.
That makes sense. So we all know that video is taking off, and video is kind of key right now. What is your thoughts in regards to millennials with, is there a preference of maybe a, 10, 20-second video versus a post?
That's a great question as well. These are all really good. So video is everything. So if you're not doing video, you're already probably, I would say 10 years behind. That sounds a little harsh. It's just honest. Is static posts are 10 years ago. You have to be doing animations, videos, short videos. But when it comes to the length of video, so average person's attention span for millennials is actually no more than 13 seconds. So if a video is longer than 13 seconds, you're losing them, which is why Instagram came out with Reels. Reels is exactly 12 seconds long, which is perfect. However, I wouldn't say stay away from long videos because people do like that as well. I would just say be strategic. So if you'd be one of our clients, we would be very strategic with what we create as the lengthier videos. For example, it would be like a behind the scenes of how to get fillers. And then a short video is supposed to be like more like what kind of information can someone absorb in 12 seconds? So that's the more important things. So when you want to get an important message out, make sure that's shorter. And then when you want something that's more just informative, it's maybe like a behind the scenes, or it's a how-to, or meet our team, that's not super crucial for your followers to know, that can be the longer videos like an IGTV. But as you can tell, Instagram, Facebook, they've been coming out with more features that are more video related. When I was in college, I was actually doing a study why video is becoming more important than ever, and that was like 4 years ago. So to think that was 4 years ago and people are still kind of catching up and just now doing video, I highly suggest making your content probably 60 to 80% video, 20 to 30% static post.
Wow,
that's interesting.
And that's something that you guys help with, creating those videos?
Yeah, because video can be a lot of hard work. So that's what we do, is we will take that on. We'll do IGTV videos. We will do Reels. We'll do just regular post videos, animations. We do all of that because that does take a lot of time. And that's why a lot of businesses never do them, because even if you were to take a fun video behind the scenes, you still need to edit it a little bit. You never know what people say in the background or what things might come up while you're trying to do a video. So editing takes a long time, and I get it. And I understand why people do more static posts. But when you want to keep your business more relevant and on top of the trends, it's really important. And that's where we come in.
I literally did a TikTok and it took me like almost 4 hours. It was like ridiculous. And I felt like it was like this major, production that I was going to get, a global award or whatever. I mean, it was just that intense. So anyway, if anyone wants to see that 3 hour production, please go to my TikTok, because I worked really hard on that. And it's like, I don't know, 20 seconds long. Anyways, let me ask you this. Okay, so you're on social media. This, we're speaking to the audience, a lot of real estate agents, a lot of, lenders out there in the industry. And, we see a lot of posts. We're like, oh, wait, that's a great post. Like. But we're not really engaging. We're just liking, we're loving, we're hugging, we're ha-haing, whatever it is. Tell us the importance of engagement on other posts. Like, how does that help us? How does that help the other person? Do you have any feedback on that?
Yeah. So Facebook and Instagram is more high maintenance than ever before when it comes to engagement. And what I mean by that is it takes more than a like for someone to notice you. And it can be really time consuming. And that's what millennial social media marketing really prides themselves in, is we understand that business owners do not have the time to engage the way that Instagram and Facebook requires. And what I mean by requires, you will not be visible on your followers' feeds or the Explore page if you are not constantly engaging. And what I mean by constantly engaging, it's a lot. So it's actually, you have to be active between 5 to 6 days a week. And what I mean by active is you have to be online engaging about 3 to 6 hours a day, not straight. It could be like every other hour you go on, you engage, you comment, and then you go back off, and then you go back on. So as a millennial, what we do is we literally schedule out hours in the day where we go on all our clients' accounts and engage. You don't have to engage for an hour straight, but what we mean is you have to go on multiple times throughout the day. And then the type of engagement that Instagram and Facebook counts as engagement, there are some specific rules, and I'll give a couple of those away. So the most important thing of all is stories. You can post on your story all you want. No one's going to see it unless you're viewing their story, which is crazy to think. So if you are viewing all story highlights, you will pop up in theirs. So what we do is we make sure that all of our clients review all the stories. Even if you're following 600 people, I don't care how many story highlights you have. We make sure that that's running all day long, and your brand, your company is viewing everybody, because then your story highlight will actually get bumped to the top. And then the other thing is responding to people's stories with a reaction, whether it's the heart eyes or the praise hands. A reaction gets another point of engagement. And then the third thing is comments. Instagram and Facebook will not count a comment as engagement unless it's more than 4 characters. So if you just comment a heart emoji or a heart eye emoji or cool or okay, you are not getting engagement points for that, which is really, it sucks, because all this time you think you're getting engagement points, you think you're doing well, and it turns out they're not counting it as engagement. So, and then the more you engage, the more that your posts get bumped to the top. So I so often hear from businesses, hey, we have 5,000 followers, but we get 30 likes. Why is this? The first question I ask is, how often are you engaging with your followers? And are you commenting? Are you viewing their stories? Are you actually interacting with them? And the reason why Instagram and Facebook have these perimeters set on engagement is because they're trying to filter out the bots, because there's so many bots out there, and filter them out to the real people. So that's the reason why they have these measures. It's not to bring your business down or to not give you any credit and not make you successful in social media. It is solely because they just want to try and help filter out all these fake accounts from the real ones. But we just have to make sure you're following those engagement rules to not get mixed in with those bots and those fake accounts. So the importance of engagement, we'll have a client go, well, then why do I need to be on social media that often? Why do I need to be commenting and watching stories? Well, once again, it's just to make you more visible. Instagram will actually suppress your content unless you are active with your followers. So that means if you were to post a post 1 minute ago, that means your post on your followers page is at the bottom. So when they go on their feed, they can't see you. And that's only because you haven't been interacting with them. Now, you don't have to interact with all 6,000 people. Obviously, you can't. That's almost physically impossible on a daily basis. But what Millennial social media does is we will actually target specific people who are following you, and even people who are out there in your demographic to get them as followers that are specific to your target audience, your demographic. We make sure that we are interacting with people that will matter most to your brand, not just anyone, not just everyone. There will be people who follow you who are just fans, but maybe they're from Seattle, but your service is in Tampa. But we make sure we're interacting with the people that will become a potential client or a consumer. So essentially, engagement is the only way you're visible. So that's why it's so important. Just like Google, if you guys are very familiar with obviously SEO and keyword search terms, the more engagement you have, the more visible you are. Just like the more keywords you have, the more visible you are in Google.
So we talked about how often you should be engaging. So my next question is kind of a 2-part question. How often should you post per day? And is there specific times of the day that are better than others to post?
Yeah, definitely. So the cool feature about Facebook and Instagram is the Insights feature. If you are not a business page, please go ahead and do that right now. If you are a personal page, you cannot have access to Insights. But if you change your account to a business account, you have these amazing tools to be able to see when your best time to post is, when the best days to post is, and also because it shows you what time your specific followers are online. So it's going to be different for everybody. There are industry recommendations, but honestly, I think the more that you pay attention to your insights, the better, because every business is going to be different. Everybody's time zones are different in the US. So your age group is going to be different. So Instagram and Facebook effect who your demographic is. And then they also take into effect how long, what times of day that your followers are online. And it will suggest you, say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is your best days to post. And then it'll give you the best times. I highly suggest following that to a T. And then the other thing is how often you should be posting. So like I said earlier, there are 1.6 billion people on Facebook and Instagram. I'm sure there's more than that now, but you are competing with those individuals. So when it comes to showing up on the Discover page or the Explore page and showing up in your followers' feed, you have to be posting between 3 to 5 days a week to at least appear active. So I would definitely suggest go more towards the 5 to 6 posts a week, to be completely honest, if you're really trying to grow your platform. If you're just trying to keep your platform alive, 3 days a week. But if you want your platform to die, then that's less than 3 days. So if you're already only posting 1 day a week, you're considered, your account is dead. That's kind of what we refer to it as millennial social media marketing. So we try to bring your platform back to life. And depending on what your goals are, whether it's to reach more people, maybe your goal is just to grow your platform, not even get more clients through social media. Depending on what your goals are, it will definitely depend on how often you should be posting, times in the days.
So the insights, is that available on both Facebook and Instagram, or is it just one?
Yes, I'll actually show you real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna start with Instagram. Or actually, Facebook is actually at the very top bar. It's really easy. Just sign into your Facebook page, and right at the top, and it says Insights. It's like the third or the fourth option. And I'll go on Millennials real quick, if you guys can see my phone.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a little hamburger bar in the corner there. I feel like the lighting is like overexposing my phone, but so you click the hamburger bar. Can you see it?
It's kind of too bright.
So we
Yeah,
go.
let me close my blind. There we go. No, let's do this.
Okay.
Okay, so here are my insights. Okay, that made it worse.
You're blowing, Carly.
So you click your insights, and then you go, because actually
I see it. If you hold it like that, I can see it.
Good. So you go to your insights, is the third option on your hamburger bar. You click that, and then it's going to show you a multitude of options. It can seem really overwhelming because there's so much on here. Where it says total followers, you're going to click that. And then here's where you can see everything, like what days to post, what hours, and your demographic, which is awesome. And then
so
you
do
can
I not have that because I'm not a business page on Instagram?
Correct.
Okay.
So if you don't have it, I highly suggest making it a business. It's all you have to do is you hook it up with your Facebook page, and that's what makes it a business page.
Okay. Will the content that's already on there stay?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. You can turn it off and on whenever you want, and never affects your content, which is great. But I highly suggest, we call it our Bible. Like we are on our insights every day, constantly measuring all our posts, seeing how they perform. And obviously you have to just learn and understand your audience. And that's what millennial social media marketing really capitalizes on.
That's good stuff. So as far as the SEO for Instagram, you kind of touched on that already. Yeah. As far as going into how that can help you get more visibility, tell us a little bit about the bio section, because this is the thing. I've seen really incredible bios, and to where they have like the Linktree link.
Yep.
And you can actually click on that. You go in and there's like tabs. Tell me about what that does for your IG visibility, and tell us what is your feedback on what should actually be in your bio?
Yeah. So like I said before, your bio is basically your keywords, and it's the way that people can search you. And then the Linktree is obviously just a plus for your personal SEO. So whether you have a website, like to know it, maybe you want people to leave Google reviews, I highly suggest having a Linktree, because that's going to boost your SEO on the other, not for social media. It's going to boost your SEO for your website and for the other platforms that you use. And a lot of bloggers do that too these days. Linktree is very, very, very popular. for influencers and for bloggers, because you always want to create, you want to eliminate steps. So when people land on your social media, you don't want them to have to go to Google, search you, and then go to your website. You want to eliminate those steps so they just go right to your website. But your bio should be very, very straight to the point. So you probably hear that a lot with websites. Like when you first go to your homepage, your about me needs to be very straight to the point, because if they don't understand what you offer in those 10 words, then they're just going to forget about you. They're going to be like, okay, I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know what they offer. So you have to make sure that you are listing your brand pillars. So what I tell my clients is I say, what are the top 5 things that you have to offer? Sometimes I say your top 3, because sometimes that won't all fit in the bio. The bio only allows you like 136 characters. It's very small. So I always say, okay, give me your 3 brand pillars, and then Millennial kind of orchestrates that into a bio that will, when a customer lands on your Instagram page, they know who you are, what you offer, and like where you're located and how can they get your service. Because those are the most important things. You want to know who this person is, what they have to offer, and then how can I take that next step and either book an appointment, call them, buy your product, whatever that is. You want that all right there. You also want to make sure that when you do say who you are in the who you are statement, the first line of your bio, you want to make sure that that's matching their interests of what they're looking for. For example, we have a client that, like I said earlier, I'll just keep using them as an example. They're an aesthetics practice. They do fillers and Botox. So when someone is on their search bar on Facebook or Instagram, they are going to be searching, Tampa Botox or Miami Botox. You want to make sure your About Me section answers that question they had. Because if you're not answering that need that they were already looking for, then you lost them already. So we are specifically targeting anti-aging clients. So we made sure in the bio, it says anti-aging aesthetics and then the location, because you want people to be able to, 1, find you in your area, and 2, able to answer that need that they had. Or if you're a blogger, for example, mine is neutral style inspo. It has to be very specific. Put yourself in the mindset of a client. What are they going to be putting into that search bar, and how specific do they get? So you want to make sure that you are choosing those words. And then the last point I'll make is making it very easy to read. So what we like to do is we like to separate each point with like an emoji or something clean, that it's not just a bunch of words everywhere. And I know some people don't know how to do that. So that's why we come in here and we can make your bio look beautiful. But you just want to make sure that it's very clean and it's very straight to the point. And the last thing you want on your bio is contact me, because you have a link right there that says either email, call. You want to make sure that people know this is it right here. Make that next step. So don't forget about that. That's the most important thing that most businesses miss. They have this great social media, but you're like, well, how do I contact them? So you already lost that client.
Right.
So you briefly talked about this in the beginning, but hashtags, it's like, they're everywhere. Should hashtags be in our bio? Are people still searching by hashtags for what they're looking for?
Yeah, so that was before the recent update. So hashtags were the only way you could find a page. And then when Instagram and Facebook made the new update, all you have to do now is use those keywords in your bio. You no longer have to put the hashtag in your bio. But also with hashtags in general on your posts are very, very important. I used to actually make fun of them. I remember thinking that they were so tacky and they looked desperate. And when I became on the brand side and I started seeing the effectiveness that hashtags had, I was like, whoa. I was like, I had this false mindset this whole time. However, you can't overuse hashtags, because Instagram will actually shadow ban is the word. It will shadow ban your account to be a bot if you are overusing hashtags. So do not go crazy with hashtag beauty inspo, and you have 50 of them. Limit yourself to just 10 to 20 and make sure you're always changing them up So yes, hashtags still do work, but just don't use them in your bio anymore.
Okay.
That's good stuff. That's good. So, as far as I'm trying to find where I am in the questions. Millennials are more likely to embrace brands making a difference and that appeal to their values. What are some ways a brand can accomplish this? So, Connie, can you speak to that?
Yeah, I would definitely say that us millennials are more drawn to people who are trying to make a difference in the world, and they're trying to, whether it's, trying to save plastic, reduce the waste of plastic, or like we just started with today with sex trafficking. We are all about basically humanitarian acts right now. However, it is still a touchy subject. And I will say for businesses, I definitely say there's a fine line between like how much you talk about controversial subjects, because millennials are known to attack on social media. Like, we're very sensitive about those things. I definitely think from a brand perspective, you have to have some type of story to your brand that does somehow tie in with a humanitarian act. And what I mean by that is, for example, when I worked for Bonefish Grill, we had to avoid controversy as much as possible, but we were able to choose something that was safe. So we chose something that was like saving. We actually would donate to help reduce plastic waste in the oceans, things like that tie that story to your brand. So you just have to choose something that definitely makes sense for your brand to participate in. And then, but you also want to make sure you're avoiding any type of controversy. An example of bad controversy when it comes to participating in humanitarian acts is Oxford Exchange. I'm a huge fan of them. They're in Tampa. I don't know if everybody watching is in Tampa. They're an amazing company. They're an amazing brand. But they just made a bad decision. They put a sign out front of their building that was supposed to be for Black Lives Matter, but it didn't actually call out that they were supporting Black lives. It was very evergreen, and it very upset people because they weren't fully owning what they were standing up for. So,
I actually saw that. Mm-hmm.
And it disappointed a lot of people that were fans of that brand. So if you're going to stand for something, make sure you make it as clear as day, because you really want to avoid that controversy. To be honest, there are people who are even sensitive when it comes to recycling and saving our planet. Basically, if you're a brand that creates plastic water bottles, do not support Ocean Conservancy, and because you're just going to get so much backlash. I definitely think that you should have something that adds a little bit of that story to your brand and shows that you care about your community and you care about your planet Earth. Just be very careful, and also definitely be very, very transparent with why you support this cause.
So we are coming up on our time, but I do have one last question. So in the intro, I said, millennials can spot a paid ad, from a mile away, and they get turned off. So what are some inexpensive ways to market your brand without having to, pay for those paid advertising spaces?
Yeah. So we call this organic paid search, is what Millennial calls it. So we realize a big no-no that a lot of brands are doing, like you just said, they're putting so many ads out there. They pop up on our social media feeds. Mm-hmm. If they look addy, spammy, those are the words we hate, we will not click on them, like you said. And if anything, we get a bad perception of that brand. And basically what we mean by an organic ad is we make it look like a regular social media post. Because the ad feature is fantastic, and we don't want to keep brands away from using that tool. It gets you 3 times the amount of exposure. It gets you more link clicks. The awareness is amazing, and we definitely swear by the effectiveness of it. You just need to relook at what you're doing when it comes to the ads. So think of what would you post for an organic standpoint? So, for example, versus a stock photo of a product you sell and a big banner with words on top, use something very authentic. So authentic is a word that we use a lot when it comes to our agency. So you want that ad to either come from the CEO themselves, or you want it to be an organic photo of the product you're selling, whether you're just holding it up or it's like a little video or something like that. The CEO maybe smiling, who maybe they have a message to share. Just stay away from anything that looks like a stock photo or an ad. Make it very relatable and very organic, because it will blend in with all the other organic posts in their feed. I've seen a lot of brands, if you want to look at an example, a brand that does really well at this is actually OCE. So it's OSEA. It's a skincare brand. Their ads look just like their Facebook posts and their Instagram posts. So take a look at that. That's a perfect example of what I mean by using organic posts for ads instead of actual ads.
Got it. Well, Carly, you have shed a lot of light into this social media world that I didn't realize I didn't know was there.
And what I want to say too is, whoever tuned in today, this was a plethora of information. It's like, I just feel like I took a class in social media marketing, and I'm ready to get my bio done. I'm ready to get my videos. I want to do a reel right now. But no, we really appreciate you, Carly. This was really informative. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a great job.
Yeah, so thanks for having me.
Yeah, if anybody wants to reach out to you guys and discuss, starting up and getting some help with their marketing, is your Instagram that we have on the screen the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Definitely. We're on it 24/7.
Perfect. Well, we thank you so much. I know you are super busy because what you do is probably a 24-hour job. So we thank you for joining us today and share your tips and tricks. And we think you're awesome.
Thank you so much, Carly.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
She's super, super, super cute and great information. I'm surprised I didn't know a lot of the stuff I'm not surprised. Let me take that back. I'm not surprised that I didn't know a lot of that stuff.
I'm behind. I feel behind right now. Sure. I don't know about you.
Well, thank you everyone so much for watching. For those that were not on in the very beginning, we do want to go ahead and just shout out the hashtag Save Our Children in support of the sex trafficking that is rampant right now. So if everybody today, when you're on social media, just throw the hashtag Save Our Children on your social media platform to show your support, it would be much appreciated. Thank you, everyone. And we hope you have an amazing weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Bye. Bye.